What is going on, everybody? It's Jay here. We've done a lot of work on this house so far. We've done the electrical, the plumbing, we've supported broken beams, replaced broken joists, fixed some termite damage. We've gotten a long way, and we just got the HVAC system replaced. So now we're ready to really put this place back together. It's time for drywall. Let's go.
Before we start slinging up any sheets of drywall, I want to stress the importance of air sealing your wall cavities. Because we're going to want a fairly airtight house for the sake of efficiency, we went to a local retail store and got some expired bottles of Sikaflex. We were able to grab this at an absolute steal because the store owner couldn't really sell them at full price due to them being expired. And what this is going to do is this is going to help us air seal the wall cavities so that we get the maximum efficiency out of our walls as possible. Now we have this very strange wall board that is really just gypsum board covered in tar paper, so this is really going to help us seal all those gaps. We also took this time to air seal the top plates with foam where we made any wiring penetrations. Using this sort of rubberized caulking is something that I saw on one of Matt Reisinger's really early YouTube channels, so I owe him the credit for this, but in the end, it's going to help me keep my house nice and tight. Now that we have all the gaps sealed, we moved on to installing our rock wool insulation. These R13 bats are extremely easy to install. Most of them slide right in, and if you need to cut them, you can either cut them with a razor, or I actually used a little hacksaw to go through it because it just splits so easily. But this stuff slides right in, and we have zero potential for these things shrinking over time and falling down into the cavity like you might see with fiberglass bats, and they're more dimensionally stable than spray foam.
When I started doing the electrical, I had thought about where I wanted the lines and where I wanted the network cable, but I didn't think about the type of boxes I would need in order to install them the way I wanted. I ended up putting in all these single gang boxes, but there was no place to put this network cable. So after I ran the network cable and after we insulated, I came back and I put these guys right here. They have a low voltage channel so that you can run the network along with the electric and not have them cross paths.
With those details out of the way, now we were starting to throw up the drywall panels. Now sadly, I was not involved in this process as much as I wanted to be. I was working during the week and we had some family in town who does this for a living. Yes, I was able to throw up a couple panels here and there on my time away from work, but really they did the majority of the work and I just told them to smile while I recorded. To explain the process of hanging drywall a little bit, you want to start on the ceiling and then do the upper panel and then the lower panel, staggering your joints so that you don't have a real four-way cross. So you're going to lay them almost like bricks. You start on the ceiling so that you can get everything nice and tight on the top side because you're ultimately going to be putting trim around the bottom of the room and you might not have crown molding. So by putting all your joints really tight up on the top, you can make sure that things are going to be sitting very well. We rented a drywall panel lift for a week in order to help us get the ceiling done. You don't really need it once you get that main portion of the ceiling completed. The rest of it you can just muscle up with a little help from a crossbar to hold the panels tight against the ceiling. This is one of those tricks that I wouldn't have thought of if I hadn't seen it used, and I don't have any footage of it right now, but I will be using it later and show you how you use this crossbar. It's a really awesome tool if you're going to be hanging drywall by yourself. Other than that, it's really just about being patient and making good cuts. Around your doorways and windows you can use a rotozip, and around any light fixtures as well, like our can lights right here. We use the rotozip to get really nice clean cuts, so we didn't have to really pre-cut anything. Before our guru left, we made a point to take a lesson on how to mud, bed, and float all the drywall seams so we could get the smoothest wall and results possible. Learning how to finish around windows and corners is a somewhat intimidating process if you're trying to make it look nice, and thankfully he was able to do it and show us how to as well. We're going to need as much advice as we can get on how to finish this place out once he's gone. All I can say is that all of his tape joints were perfect and had no bubbles, and mine, well, I had to redo mine a fairly large number of times before I was happy with the result.
I'm really pleased seeing this house come together with drywall. Once you get it up, it actually starts feeling more like a house and less like a glorified shed. Now, we've only got halfway done and we have way more to do, but it's coming together and that's extremely exciting. While I'm sure a lot of people would advocate for having used spray foam, I'm really glad we went with the rock wool. It was in the right price range and it's a very dependable product with a good proven track record. So, with all that said, if you want to follow this renovation from start to finish, I'd invite you to subscribe to the channel. Please leave your comments down below and like the video if you enjoyed it. Until next time, have a good day.